the British royal family lost all their money and they've been funded by the Rothschilds in exchange for breeding rights from 1819 to 2019.
So what was the purpose of the Rothschilds needing this?
The British royal family were virtually bankrupt from 1815, so the Rothschilds funded the British royal family in exchange for the Rothschilds breeding the royals. So the whole British royal family are Rothschild Batards, and Batard is the royal name for bastard. I exposed King George V of England as being sired by Tsar Alexander III of Russia, and I exposed Queen Elizabeth II as sired by artificial insemination by Winston Churchill, who was actually the illegitimate son of King Edward VII.
Hang on.
I know, it gets too much.
So you've got it all laid out for us to see?
Absolutely.
So these legal documents that you've registered and given to the British royal family, you've also sent copy of these to various other world leaders?
America, Russia, Israel, England.
And nobody contested these documents?
Well, the whole world has been acting on my documents, including the British royal family. They've acquiesced to my documents by removing their emblem off the Buckingham Palace gates and by doing a Rex Abscondus, and the Queen has gone into hiding in Windsor Castle for the purpose of supposedly the coronavirus.
Listen to this, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Back around 2010, Jeffrey Epstein, yeah, the same one tied to every elite scandal under the sun, had his Wikipedia page scrubbed clean. An email straight from the released files shows this guy bragging to Epstein himself. They have all sorts of protection around your mugshot picture on Wiki. We're hacking Wiki now to remove it and replace it with the photo you sent, which will headline, Jeffrey Epstein, businessman, philanthropist. They yanked him out of the sex offender category, rewrote the opening sentence to strip out any mention of his crimes, and turned the whole page into a glowing PR piece. They even recorded the IP addresses of anyone trying to revert their edits and blocked them out, smiley face emoji and all. Then they went further, flooding search engines with noise, boosting endless results about every other random Jeffrey Epstein on the planet, so that typing his name, or even his name plus file, pulled up nothing but fluff. No news about the lawsuits, no documents, just endless pages burying the truth under a mountain of irrelevant garbage. Google alerts were set to catch any new articles that slipped through, and they'd handle them case by case. They called it a very offensive strategy for the main web, creating new sites, pumping links, manipulating everything to make the real dirt vanish. And who was running this digital cleanup crew? A guy named Al Seckel, reputation fixer, illusion collector, whatever cover he used. He was deeply in Epstein's orbit, emailing progress reports like, "We're very pleased. Wiki hacked, finally changed the mugshot out. It was heavily protected. Added a whole new section pushing the bad stuff down the page, reworded most of it so it isn't that bad." He boasted about the bots making their rounds, the positive results hitting overnight. But here's where it gets dark, real dark. Seckel was romantically involved with Isabel Maxwell, sister of Ghislaine Maxwell, the one convicted in Epstein's trafficking network. Isabel? French-born entrepreneur, co-founder of Magellan, listed as a technology pioneer by the World Economic Forum, president of an Israeli internet company, connected to all the right globalist circles. The Maxwell family, mega rich, mega influential, with ties everywhere from media empires to intelligence whispers. Then, in 2015, Seckel's body turns up at the bottom of a cliff near his home in southern France. Just like that, falls off, dead. French authorities never even confirmed it officially as of late 2021. Suicide? Accident? Or the same kind of convenient end that seems to follow anyone who gets too close to the machine and then becomes a liability? The guy who knew the inner workings of the scrubbing operation, who held the keys to how they buried the evidence online, suddenly silenced forever. Meanwhile, Isabel's still out there, alive and well, tied into those same elite networks. Coincidence? Or the pattern we've seen over and over? People who dig too deep, or know too much, or try to rewrite the narrative for the wrong side, end up very quiet, very suddenly. This isn't random. This is coordinated. This is how they protect the untouchables. Wake up. It's all connected. And the cliff wasn't an accident.
Airplanes did not hit the Twin Towers. These are steel beams every 14 inches. An airplane basically crumbles, and then the titanium engines and wings fall to the ground. The Air Force has some very advanced holographic capabilities, and there is a known Air Force plane that was flying above the Twin Towers, which was in a position to beam a holographic image of an airplane flying into the Twin Towers. And if you'll recall, this image goes through the towers as if it's going through butter. Zip! It just disappears. That's a holographic image. That's not a real airplane. And last but not least, the CIA, under George H.W. Bush's direction and Dick Cheney, used $240 billion in offshore gold to finance a gold war to destroy the economy of Russia. And that money was laundered on 9/11. Nothing hit any of the computers, but because of 9/11, extraordinary transactions were allowed to clear, and CIA was able to launder $240 billion worth of transactions as part of the event. There was also insurance fraud in that all of the gold and jewels and other things stolen in the vaults were taken out prior to the event. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I have it on good authority that a number of people were warned to stay out of the building, and that a number of prominent people had hotel suites overlooking the Twin Towers to observe the event.